Hello everybody. So it's Sunday. It's time for another weekly read, and this week was quite successful, I would say. I was able to finish a lot of things that I had in there going for a while. But before that, I wanted to talk about the prizes because this week the Yalak prize winner was announced. The first woman won. I made a reaction. I'll link it if you want to watch it. But it was quite nice. I like all of the books, so I was not going to be too disappointed with anything. So yeah, that happened. It was nice, and also the international booker is announced next week, and I made a prediction video with Katie Books, which is the international booker boy. So I will link that also somewhere if you haven't watched it. It's quite interesting. We had a lot of fun. It's the first time I did a collaboration like this, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I hope that Kieran is up for some other collaboration some other time. Another booktubers too. So yeah, that was the housekeeping. And this week, as I said, I was able to read a lot of things that I had in the going for a while. The first one was Upriver by Michael Brown. This was my reread for this month, and I enjoyed it. It's non-fiction about a tribe in the Peruvian Amazon, in the north of the country, and a bit about their culture and their traditions from an anthropological point of view. And yeah, it was nice. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it because I'm not sure I liked it enough, but I liked it, so I'm happy that I read that. And the other book that I finally finished is The Promised Land by Barack Obama. I had been reading this for I think 2 months, and it's basically the autobiography of Barack Obama. At the beginning, he talks about how he became president and then the first part of his presidency. And he goes into a lot of detail into the politics, which was a bit tiring at times. So yeah, that was a bit tedious to read. It was a lot less personal than I thought, but once I realized that, I was able to change my mindset on that point, and I enjoyed it enough. I especially liked the parts of his presidency when he talks about international politics, and like his impressions of international leaders and things like that. I have to say though, when he talked about the military, it was cringy. I always find that often Americans or people from the US have this sense of entitlement when it comes to military actions, which I do not agree with in most times. So yeah, that like him talking about what he was doing in Afghanistan, or like the time when they killed Bin Laden, things like that. It was cringy for me, from my point of view. So yeah, I enjoyed it, but I don't think I'm going to read the next one. Although I'm debating that because the next one, I guess, it's when he would talk about the Paris Agreement, and I'm very interested in that. He already talked about what he did before that, so that um, he could get some heads up, but he didn't talk about that in detail. So yeah, I'm hoping he talks more about that in the next book, but I'm not sure it's worth it to read the whole book just for that part. So yeah, I'm not sure I'm gonna read that one. And then the last one that I finished is In Memory of Memory by Maria Stepanova, which is part of the International Booker. It's the last one I read for the International Booker, and I guess the last one I'm gonna read for the International Booker since it's announced next week. And this one was sort of a recollections of memories of the family of Maria Stepanova. And the writing was beautiful at parts, but the whole concept it's like when your grandpa or your uncle tells you stories about your family years and years ago, and for you, because you're connected, it's interesting, but for the rest of the people, it's not that interesting. So yeah, it was a bit of a rumble like that. As I said, the language was beautiful, and I guess there was also a lot of talk about how photography affects the memories we have, which was also interesting. But overall, I think it was a bit overdone and a little bit too much for me. So I didn't super enjoy that one, but I finished it, so and that's good. And the thing that I'm currently reading is Madagascar, a short history by Solofo, Randrianja, and Stephen Willis. And this one is for my last book for the Invisible Cities project this month. And the month is finished tomorrow, so I'm hoping that I can finish this by tomorrow. I have about 100 something pages left. I'm about halfway through, so I'm hoping I can do it. But I'm quite enjoying this one actually. It's a non-fiction about history of Madagascar, which gives me a really good overview of the evolution of the country. I especially like the first part because it talks about how people arrived to Madagascar, which I had no idea about. So yeah, that was very interesting. I'm currently in the part where the colonizers come to the country, which is less of an interesting thing for me, but still, I'm quite enjoying this. So it's a lot more readable than I thought it was gonna be, because it does look very academic and very dense, and even though it is academic, it's still also very readable. And once I finish that, we have next month. I don't know, I don't have too many plans for next month yet. There is a couple of things I brought from the library that I want to read. I think the first one I'm going to start is Native Son by Wright, because I have had this from the library for a really long time, and I want to read it and finally give it back now that the libraries are open. And also I have my reread project, which I don't know yet what it's gonna be, so let's find out together. Ooh. Technical difficulties. That's 1Q84 by Haruki Murakami, which is a really long book, but well, it's a trilogy, but it's something that I remember really enjoying and being really immersive, so that would be good for summer, now that I have enough time. This is not a bad thing, I'm not mad about this. And then, other than that, I think the Invisible Cities project is gonna continue, so I'm going to do that. The books I've chosen for next month are quite in the shorter side, so I hope I can do it before what I have done this month. I have The Confessions of the Lioness by Mia Couto for Mozambique. I have Be as in Beirut for Lebanon, and I have How the One-Armed Sister Sweeps Her House by Cherie Jones for Barbados. So yeah, I'm hoping that I can read those fairly quickly. I'm going on holidays for a week in the middle of June, so I hope that doesn't affect too much my reading plans. And also the results for this round of the BookTube Prize are announced tomorrow, and then I will know if I have another assignment for the BookTube Prize. And if that is the case, then I would also have to read however many books I have to read in that list. But yeah, those are my plans so far for the next weeks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you have read this week, if you have read any of the books I talked about. I would also really be interested in knowing what you read for the Invisible Cities project for Madagascar, if you have read anything, because I found that there were not that many books available, and I was happy that this one was in my library. And I am enjoying it, but it's not what I was kind of aiming to read for this month. But either way, I would like to know what you read. And until next video, bye!